What is the first thing you remember after your first seizure?
Just waking up and out of nowhere, a boot coming into the windshield and just kicking in. And they just started kicking in a small hole. And I looked up sideways and a passenger door, and the guy was starting to yank on the door to get in. And he opened up and he got in to unbuckle me. And I was sideways. When
Wow.
last time I remember blinking, I was just looking sideways to make sure the trailer made it over since I was trucking.
Yeah, this wasn't even a regular car. This was a semi truck,
Yeah,
right?
this was in a semi truck.
Before we dive in, I want to give huge shout outs to community partners Epilepsy Foundation of America, the Danny Did Foundation, and Epilepsy Alliance America. And big thanks to sponsors Neurelis and SK Life Science. Thank you for believing in this podcast and to help keep it going. All right, y'all, pull up a seat. This is going to be good. Oh my gosh.
And so I just looked at just to make sure the mirrors and trailer, everything made it over into the lane that I went ahead and crossed over. And all I remember was blinking, and then a boot started coming in. And that just, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then seeing some random guy coming into the semi truck. And he just said, "Hang on, I'm just helping you." And I was like, "What do you mean, helping me? What happened? I want to know what happened. How long has it been?" Type of thing. Because I only saw with 19 miles, Utah had a little sign put up that said 19 miles, Salt Lake City. So that's where I planned to take my break. Go ahead and refuel the truck if I had to, and let my dog out, let him play and have his time to stretch as we drove. And I just, okay, I'll make it to Salt Lake City and no problem there. And I was having fun. I was singing with AC/DC, whatever song they had playing. And I was just petting my dog and everything. And so they finally kicked a hole big enough and they let my dog come through. And they got my dog through, and somebody had a leash for him, and they went ahead and leashed him up. And then they went ahead and continued kicking in and making sure that hole got bigger. They just said, "Hey, turn around because you were kicking glass now." And so the guy went ahead and made sure I was standing, able to stand up, and he put my arm over him and he said, "Hey, just turn around." I was like, "Okay." And I didn't really know too much, but I just listened to him. I pivoted and they went ahead and got the hole open big enough for me.
I mean, I have heard so many crazy first seizure stories, but this is like one of the most insane ones because I can't imagine, like, not only is it an accident, but it's a semi truck accident. And then, you've got like all of these strangers. Now, was it first responders or strangers? Like, because I know you said a lot of like good Samaritans came over to try and help you, and you
Hmm.
even have a clip of it on YouTube, and it's incredible to watch. All these people trying to help you. So who eventually got you out? Was it a first responder? Was it a good Samaritan nearby? Or
No, when as you were saying that, I got the boots and everything, a few kicks on the face
oh
with
my
the
god,
windshield, and then out of nowhere there was a cop that came by and kind of rose and said, "Hey, don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here." And the guy so a good Samaritan kept kicking it in. It wasn't even the officer,
oh my god,
which I
wow,
assume was Utah um, Highway Patrol
sure,
showing
wow.
up on scene. So I know they were there.
So how did they know? Because then you were taken to the hospital, right?
Correct.
Obviously, from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Shocking. Um, but how did they know it was a seizure? Because so many times this has happened to other people, and that they still don't even get a diagnosis of seizures until like years later or
I have
something.
no idea. I that
I
I
have
went
no
to
idea.
a little ER in Bountiful, Utah.
Wow. Is that the real
Because,
name of the town?
yeah, Bountiful.
Bountiful. What a lovely name. I love that. So, when you were discharged from the ER, were they
Hmm.
like, you need to see a neurologist, epileptologist, or what were the instructions and what did you end up doing?
They pretty much just said a seizure is what caused you to go ahead and black out, and it wasn't any type of anything that you took or that you fell asleep, and no, you just had a seizure behind the wheel, sadly.
Hmm.
And they went
Wow.
ahead and discharged me. And they didn't really say too much more of what to do next.
Oh my
And
God.
so I went to my my employer,
Mm-hmm.
and they said go ahead and see the workman's comp doctor. And I went ahead and saw her back to back days. In less than about 10 minutes, she went ahead and wrote up I was okay to go back to work, and that it was just me that fell asleep at the wheel.
What?
And that was the only reason that caused the accident.
Wait, how could she just disagree with what the ER doctor said?
With no any type of testing, even my blood testing, urine test, nothing.
That's terrible.
She just said okay to go back to work.
Oh my God. This is
My
just
employer went ahead and they went and signed me off that there's no work here that I can do. And since I flipped the truck over and then it got hit by a train, and they said, hey, you're no way you can be driving any of our trucks again. There's even though she said you flipped it and everything, you fell asleep. You're the reason why
oh
we're
my
done,
gosh.
and I got terminated.
Oh my gosh. That's so messed up.
And I found my hospital that I go to, where I see my neurologist at, and it was 60 miles away. I was like, okay, well, it's better than having to go and deal with the traffic going to LA. They took about 2.5 to 3 months worth of studies before I even met him.
Wait. Before you met the doctor, you had
Correct.
3 months of testing. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, all these testing, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
all right, come in on this date in November and we'll go ahead and meet in person. I said, okay. And I asked my mom, hey, will you be able to drive me here and she's like, 60 miles away. I said, well, I need to see him a bit. And I have no way of getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll call and make sure I have the day off. And so she went ahead and took me there, and we met up with him. And I'm sadly to say that you have epilepsy, and
Oh
that
wow.
your body is also medicine resistant. And he's also, sadly, the dosages of whatever meds I give you are going to be hiked up a little more. And so the
Mm-hmm.
side effects may be a little bit harder on you
Oh
than
wow.
anybody else and any other patient of mine. Okay. And I kind of teared up and I looked at my mom when he told me that and everything. So, do you need a minute? Do you want me to step out or anything? And I looked at him and no, keep telling me, keep
Mm-hmm.
feeding me everything. I need to know
Mm-hmm.
everything. What's going
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
and what's happening? He's all, yeah, sadly, you have big, you have a small lesion in the middle of your head, but you have heavy brain activity, a seizure-like activity on both sides, right and left
Mm.
sides of your brain. He's all, but it's heavier on the left side. So this happened back in 2018, November of 2018. And he said, so I'm going to work more on the left side than the right side. And I said, okay, that makes sense. It's heavier activity on the bad side.
Yeah.
Work harder on the bad side. And so I had a strewl of, I don't know how many, I'm down to maybe 3 or 4 anti-seizure meds that I could take. I've pretty much taken them all
Yeah,
already up to
I
this
feel you.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 7 years having epilepsy, I've pretty much taken them all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And
he was
that's
able to do
usually,
that.
that should be the case. If a doctor is ever saying you're drug resistant to, or you're not responding to drugs or epilepsy medications, you should have at least tried two or three at that point, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise the doctor isn't doing their due diligence. But it doesn't mean that it's not awful to keep trying new meds, you know, and trying to like onboard them and deboard them and the whole game.
Even though it's an anti-seizure med, my body's still taking the effect of what's going on, and so I'm getting the heavy side effects of it all.
Yeah.
And so I'm falling asleep day to day, just all day. And then my family's like, "Why are you asleep all day? What's going on? Hey, go get a job, go do something." And there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
I'm either asleep or I don't take my meds, and then I go get a job and tell them I'm off meds, but I have
Right.
epilepsy.
Especially the first few years, I remember going through that too, where like I felt like everyone's looking at me like, why aren't you working? Why aren't you? And I was like, because I am like, I feel like I'm a walking coma right now. Like I'm just
Hmm.
so tired. And I actually met with one doctor, and like and this was not an epilepsy doctor, but whenever you go to a doctor's appointment, they're like, "What medications are you on?" And I named all of the medications
A
I was
nice
on,
list.
and yeah, I had a nice list. And he goes, "I don't know how you're awake right now." And I was like, "I don't know either. I barely am, and I think that's just kind of like what happens is that I don't think there's we just need to tell people like if anyone's on any anti-seizure medication, it is trying to slow the brain down and usually doing a very good job. So like,
Hmm.
our
He
everything's
was
just a little
close
bit
to making
slower.
me drool day to day. He was close with what was happening. And with I almost had to, like you said, a CVS list, a receipt
Yeah.
list of just what I could do and everything
Oh,
of
okay.
just meds.
So how so I cuz I know your treatment now isn't just limited to meds. And that
No,
yeah, and so I was
it's
wondering if
now
you could
completely changed.
so can you tell us, what your treatment is now that doesn't include medication?
I went through surgery, brain surgery, and they went ahead and put wires into where my doctor said, "Hey, where the left side was troubling," and he said he was the vision and hearing part of your brain. And he said, I don't know why you're having seizures. I'm sorry you're having them, but your brain looks like it's been through 30 years worth of seizures. He's all,
Wow.
the left side is mush. It's almost
Wow.
mush.
Oh God, that had to be so
And I'm
hard to
like, oh
hear.
my goodness, what the
Yeah.
world?
So
So
what was the treatment option that you went with?
what I chose was I forgot what that's called, what it stands for, but it's called the RNS.
Okay.
So it those two leads
So the
and
two
then
leads that are inside
correct.
okay, so they're right on your brain.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
inside my brain
Okay.
on where the it's at right
We're
over here.
okay. Yeah, if you're
If you
watching
can
on
see.
YouTube, Brian's showing us his badass scar. Very nice. Love it.
So I actually shaved up before just to make sure.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, you really should right now because Brian's also showing us cool devices.
Took about 6 to 8 months for my body to just kind of adjust to it to figure out what was going on in my brain. But after that, my seizures actually switched. I was having a lot of grand mal seizures within about a 30-day period. I was having maybe 26. up to max, maybe 30 the
Oh
whole
my
month.
gosh.
I would have seizures, grand mal seizures.
Now, when we talk, because we spoke once before, and you did tell me something funny that you would
Hmm.
do during your aura.
Yeah.
Um, that I'm sorry. I think you and I love just as much. Would you mind telling everyone what you do?
So, when it first started having seizures, my aura, and it was my whole family and everybody outside of it, they would hear me say something bad, like something like, "Oh shit," and then they would see me. I would be on the ground or stiffed up on the chair, and then like, "Oh, he's having a seizure. It's him." And so they knew, okay, if I was saying something like that, they knew I was gonna have a seizure, and they were bulking up and getting ready to go
Yeah.
ahead and
If
getting
Brian
ready for the
curses,
seizure.
if Brian curses, we know a seizure is coming in 4 seconds.
Yeah, they at least get ready.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's the prepared zone. Oh my gosh.
Because I think
Oh,
my longest time that I was out and before I came fully aware and full consciousness was almost an hour and over almost an hour and a half. I was like an hour and
wow.
27 minutes. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh my
gosh.
goodness, it took
That's
that long to finally come back. With the RNS system, I'm able to use this wand and I just wave it and have it right here. And then I look on the tablet and then it shows where it's getting strength and signal strength.
okay.
And so if you know where your RNS is, you should already, okay, here it is, full
Yeah.
blast, 100%. And then
Yeah.
it'll slowly start downloading all the data it collects. And then it'll
Nuts.
go ahead and download onto the tablet or computer. And then you're able to then go ahead and send to some type of cloud server that you have with the medical doctor or your neurologist.
Sure. And if you
And
weren't
they're able
watching
to view
on
it.
if you weren't watching on YouTube, I just want to note like Brian like took like a sensor up to the spot where the RNS is implanted, and that by connecting the sensor to as close to the RNS as you can get without going inside your brain, then it
Yeah.
yeah, then it translates the data into a cloud, which is very very cool. So did you respond well to the RNS?
Actually, yeah, with that, that actually, I wouldn't say stop all grand mal seizures. I was still
Mm.
having grand mal seizures, but they actually stopped from going up to 30 a day. I was having maybe up to 10 to 15 in a year.
Oh wow. Wow,
And
that's a
then I
huge
was
decrease. I mean,
having
that still sucks,
nothing but
but
focal seizures. So that's when I was looking like
okay.
Michael Myers. And out of nowhere, my wife would see me sit up 90 degrees and say, "Oh, you're having a seizure." And
Oh
she'd
wow.
say, right when
Okay.
I would eventually end, I would lay down and my eyes would start fluttering. And I was telling her, oh, next time I have a seizure, a focal seizure, videotape it with your phone because I want to see what my eyes look like when you said my eyes start to flutter and I'm
Mhm.
then I finally go back to sleep type of thing.
Wow.
And she showed me the video, and oh my goodness,
Why did you say you looked like Michael Myers?
because oh man, it's just like him. I would just be laying, and then out of nowhere, I would just sit up, and pretty
Oh.
much like he was, just with the knife and ready to go, even though something happened.
So how did it go with the second RNS implantation?
That's where it went bad. Within 10 days, that is when my neurosurgeon saw that there was an artery vessel that wasn't closing all the way on the right side.
Oh
And
wow.
so he gave it 15 minutes, then 30 minutes,
You mean like
and
this is
then,
during surgery?
yeah, during surgery,
Oh
he said he's just waiting. And
wow.
he waited up to an hour, and after an hour, nothing, it still was wide open. And so he went and put a shunt in. He
Oh my
went and
gosh.
put a
Okay.
shunt on the right side. And so I have on the right side, right around here is a real thin, I could feel it tube. And so,
So it looks like it's like right behind your ear, kind of.
yeah, just
Yeah.
around here,
Yeah,
it's
around
light
your neck
blue.
ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of a second RNS, the
They.
shunt went in
Okay.
because he noticed that the artery wasn't closing. And he
Yeah.
said, well, if
Yeah.
that's causing it to fill up and then we block them up and seal them up, and
Yeah.
that's just going to cause an issue because it's going to cause pressure to the brain, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to start seizing out no matter what.
Wow. So how have things been since then? Since the shunt was put in?
Since the shunt was put in, it's actually been a kind of rocky road.
Mm.
I haven't really understand life too much
Yeah.
because I was told, well, you can either go back to school or go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but a change of careers. And I was thinking, okay, well, I was trucking and I used to be a CNA at a nursing home. And so
Oh.
I remember helping people out and everything and customer care. So
Yeah.
I understand that type of stuff. Okay, go back to that, but I really don't want to be around customer or people. I'd rather be away from that
Oh.
and deal with tech.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit easier on the brain than extroverting all the
And
time.
that's what's hurting me is
Yeah.
that it's going back to school and how much memory I have lost with just short term versus long term
Totally.
has just been insane. With just
Yeah.
7 years, I don't remember a lot of my life.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then my short term memories, probably a day, 2 days.
Mm. Yeah. It's nuts how much it affects how much, between the seizures and the epilepsy medications, affects our memory. Um
But I've noticed something
yeah.
different with me and my son because I now understand what my neurologist has told all his students, all his residents that he'd
Mm.
have. He said, hey, I'm going to have a student come and walk behind me or have a group walk with me. Are you okay? Yeah, it's fine. And so he'd have his residents with him and they would walk into the office and we'd start having our meetings and everything.
Mm.
And he would say, yeah, the RNS may not change and stop and end all seizures, but it improves the quality of life because now
Mm.
that I'm having a RNS on one side and a shunt on the other to start draining as much as possible
Mhm.
out of my head. So now I'm not having as much seizures. I'm almost
Wow.
coming up to 7 months
Yeah.
next month, or in 2 days.
In two
Sorry,
days. So when this releases, you'll have made it 7 months when this
so,
gets published.
hit
I'm
the
not
big
trying to jinx
seven
it.
on that one.
I'm knocking on wood. I'm not jinxing it. That's huge. 7 months without a seizure. I mean,
Yeah,
that's so
and
wonderful.
the auras have changed, but it's been
Are you still
slow
cursing?
aura. Nah, no,
No.
not too
Okay.
much.
You're like, not for that reason, but for other
Not
reasons.
that
Yeah.
reason. There's
Yeah.
other reasons why, but
Yeah.
I will make it 7 months without seizing
Oh
with
my
just this
God.
combo as of right now. Just
This combo. I love it.
yeah, with just this combo. And so, hey,
I actually came across you because you were highlighted on Legacy Bridges Foundation's website. as I think
Hmm.
a 2025 champion, maybe 2024. I can't remember.
Yeah, 2025. You're
20
correct.
this year, yeah, 2025.
Yeah.
So I love Legacy Bridges Foundation and how it supports epilepsy patients.
Oh,
And I'm
I
just
love
curious.
seeing everything that they show.
Oh my God, it's just Melanie, the founder and CEO. She's absolutely incredible, and everything she's doing. And I'm just curious how you like came to know Legacy Bridges, how that came into your life, and how it supported you.
It was started with my father. He started looking through and making sure, okay, well, here's a list. Go through the computer and look at a list of different foundations.
Hmm.
And so I found Legacy Bridge and I contacted, and it was Melanie I talked
Mm-hmm.
to, and I keep in contact even up to date. She helped me after hearing that I had my living, pretty much everything I had living in my truck besides my dog. My dog had two little scratches on the back of his leg. He was walking and running just fine. And I was excited about that, but I didn't have any clothes. My dad went to the Sam's Club, I believe, just to get clothes real quick,
You
as
mean
much
this
as he
is
can.
after your first seizure?
Yeah, after my
Yeah.
first seizure,
Yeah.
just to give me some clothes, and then she gave me an actual like care box, if you will.
Oh wow, that's
And
so
she said,
sweet.
what's the address? Well, where are you at? Where are you living?" And
Mm-hmm.
so I gave her my father's address in Las Vegas, and she sent out a care box. She said, what size is your waist, and what size are you wearing in shoes?" And I told her
Wow.
everything in detail and everything, and she sent it all out. And I was very excited to have new shoes at least on that way,
Yeah.
and then pants and everything, even though it's Vegas. It was leading towards winter time. I was like, okay, whew, okay, I'm
That's so
excited. I got
amazing.
clothes.
Right.
I got more clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Like necessary items, you know?
Yeah,
Totally. That's just amazing. I love that so much. Just the care, the true personalized care. You know, it's so important to find um, just an organization like that near you, you know, that you feel connected to, or not even near you because now everything's, you know, a Zoom. So, but I will leave the Legacy Bridges Foundation website in the episode description so that people can check it out and also read your story on there. But before we wrap up,
hmm,
I am going to ask you three questions that have nothing to do with what we've been talking about.
of course.
Okay. Number one, what's your favorite color?
I would say red.
Nice. Love it. Me too. It's one of my favorites, but yeah, I'm with you. I always feel like passionate people like red, you know?
I love
Uh
the Angels in baseball.
oh, nice. Oh, that's I love that too. I love them too. Um Number 2, if like time and money and health and all that stuff were of no issue, like everything would go perfectly and you could go live somewhere for a month, where would you go?
I would say probably somewhere in Nebraska.
Okay, no one's ever said Nebraska. I need you to elaborate. Why?
Ah, my stepfather, his grandfather, he came in, and so he was actually his caregiver for
Mm.
his grandfather. And so I saw all these old World War II and 1940s memorabilia type stuff
Mhm.
come into the house, and I
Oh,
talked to him
cool.
about World War II and how he served and everything. And
Yeah.
he had a big old ranch in Nebraska. And he said as soon as the war and newspapers were showing the war going on, sign up type of thing or get
Mhm.
drafted type of whatever, he went and signed up. And he said, I'm the USA all the way,
Wow.
is what he kept saying.
So that you said he had a ranch in Nebraska, and that's where you'd go for a month?
Yeah, he had a big old ranch in Nebraska.
Oh, it
He
sounds
said,
beautiful.
and he
Just when you
said
say big old
he
ranch, yeah.
dropped that. He said, and he said he's signing up and making sure USA's staying.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Okay, and then number 3, your last
Hmm.
question is, what does it mean to you to be a friend?
Hmm. What's it mean to me to be a friend? I would say someone that would check in on someone else, on making sure and truly making sure about their feelings and how they feel about what's going on in their lives every now, even if it's day to day or week to week, if just once a week type thing, even checking in like that.
Yeah, totally. I love that. And I love how you said how you're truly feeling.
Yeah,
Because
truly
sometimes
feeling.
sometimes you kind of have to push people when they're not feeling great, like myself included.
I
Sometimes,
was about to say, I'm pretty much almost everybody with epilepsy. We got to wear a
yeah.
mask, and then out of nowhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
the big shocks come, and
Yep.
everybody's, oh, are you okay? When you wake up and like, whoa, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, am I okay? I just sat down. I just blinked real quick. What do you mean?
Right.
To me, that's
Right.
what happened to me. Was everybody,
Yeah.
are you okay? All eyes on me. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I
Yeah.
steal the party.
I steal the party.
I'm like, I'm sorry about what happened. I
yeah.
was just having a seizure real quick. I'm sorry. I don't mean it, but
I don't mean it.
I'm fine.
Oh, well, Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to share this with me and with this audience. You are such an inspiration. You truly like just the way you approach things. I appreciate so much, and I just appreciate you for sharing your story so openly. Because, like you said, people with epilepsy were like kind of always wearing a mask, and
Yeah,
I just really
sadly,
appreciate
that's
it.
what's gotta happen sometimes. Like, okay, we're gonna go to a party if we're gonna be social
Yeah.
and leave the house. Okay, then put on a mask and look
Yep.
happy,
Yep.
even
Totally.
though some of us are real anxious.
Yeah. Yep, trying to pretend like we're not afraid we're going to have a seizure at the party.
Yeah,
so, yeah. Well, I appreciate you and your sense of humor and just, I don't know, the amazing human that you are. So, thank you again so much for being on this podcast.
thank you so much. I appreciate being on this podcast. I love sharing all the information that I can get and everything about what happened with me and my situation.
hmm Well, you're making a really big difference for doing that. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.